Hi, my name is Brij, and today we will be having an interactive session with Anmol. So he's a master's student at University of Alberta and pursuing computer science in a thesis-based program. So we will be asking him a list of questions that are in the common questions that are in the mind of every master's aspirant student, like what should be the proper points that we should mention in the statement of purpose, or how should we frame the resume to get in the to get in the top universities. So by the way, University of Alberta is also ranked in the top 5 in Canada and in the top 100 in the world. So here we go. Okay, hi everybody. So today we have with us Anmol. Thank you so much, Anmol, for sparing your time and joining in this call. So can you please introduce yourself? Like, where did you complete your bachelor's from? And did you have any job experience before applying in the top universities? Like one of them is University of Alberta.
Okay, so I am Anmul Mahajan, and I think Bridge has already introduced me. So I am a master's student in computing science, thesis-based program in University of Alberta, and I completed my bachelor's from a private university in India, JP University of Information Technology from Himachal Pradesh. And like before applying for masters, I didn't have any work experience. I think I only had a research internship. And yeah, just after complete, so I'm a 2019 pass out, and just after completing my bachelor's, I applied for masters in my 7th semester in this, and then I directly came here for masters. Yeah.
Definitely, like that was close call, because in my batch also, that till now whomsoever I've been in contact with, majority of them have job experience, and only a
Mm-hmm.
few of them are fresh graduates. So, oh, and by the way, for all the viewers who don't know, I'll be also joining UA, that's University of Alberta, in this spring. So in my batch, that means the batch of 2021, the few students are only fresh graduates, while majority of them are been working. So that was really a close call for to directly shift from just bachelors to the graduates. So yeah, congrats. So
Yeah.
Anmol, like uh, when like me, I've not yet experienced the universities, but when I was filling out the various universities for my masters, we know, right, that there is like an entry level fees for it, may be $100, $125. So we cannot apply to every universities. So how did you shortlist the universities according to your preference? Like, was it the the job province, or was it the research centers? So how did you shortlist your universities?
So when I decided to, like, when I started to think about that I should pursue a master's after completing my bachelor's. So first of all, I had two countries in my mind that I'll apply to both United States as well as Canada. But with the work policies and different kind of rules that are every day changing in US, I just discarded the whole United States university thing, and I just wanted to apply to Canada. So for Canada, I started looking at the universities, that okay, what kind of universities are there, what are some really good universities that are there. And then like a very basic thing that every student does is, like, I made a list of 10 universities in which 4 were of my top priority, that okay, these are really good ranked universities in Canada.
Yes.
4 were the mediocre one, that okay, these universities have good ranking but not as good as the top ones, but these are good universities to pursue masters. And the like the last two universities were like low university, I not say below the mediocre universities, and for which I had to be kind of sure that okay, if I'll apply to this university, I'll get sure I'll get an admit, and that's up to my decision if I want to join that university or not. Then I started looking at the profile. So for the mediocre and the low profile universities, I didn't look specifically that what is a good domain in computing science to pursue masters there. I just wanted to apply to the department and like just get a master's admit. But for the
Mm-hmm.
top universities, I started looking for the okay, which domain of computing science. So for example, University of Toronto is like the number 1 ranked university in
Number
Canada.
one.
So that is good in almost all the departments for sure, because that's how, like,
Yes.
it is a really reputed university, right? but the cost structure of University of Toronto, it's too much. It's too heavy, and I think even if I would have applied to a master's program there, and even if I'll get a stipend there, I don't think I'll be able to cover my living expenses along with the cost of tuition fee there. So I kind of put the University of Toronto on hold, that okay, I'll not apply to this for now. Then okay, what are the other top 4 or 5 universities in Canada? So the second one was applied for like McGill. So McGill University is also a really reputed university, and I applied to a computing science program there, like a general master's thesis based. I applied there, and then I knew University of British Columbia for sure. That university is really good in software engineering, and like the reputation it has developed in market in Canada is way too much. So I applied to University of British Columbia. And then I was kind of confused between applying to University of Waterloo and University of Alberta, because University of Waterloo is really good in maths and statistics, because like their maths domain is really strong. But University of Alberta has like, I think one of the best or like the best departments in machine learning and reinforcement learning in Canada.
Definitely.
And as a computer science major in my bachelor's, I wanted to pursue my master's in machine learning because that's the field right now, right? Everyone wants to do machine learning, and like most of the people in India, they have the Coursera certificates, and like they are always learning from the like web, that okay,
Yes.
introduction to machine learning and like machine learning like engineers and stuff like that. But like I thought that okay, this is a really good opportunity for starting my master's there, because I'll get to learn machine learning from scratch from a really good department, really good teachers and professors, and I think that will make my basics more strong. So I chose University of Alberta and applied here for a master's thesis based program, and I got admit here. And because it was one of my top 4 universities, I didn't even think twice. I was like, okay, I'll go here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, same is with me as well, by the way, that I also had the similar kind of structure in my mind, that I applied to University of Alberta, University of Ottawa. Then I applied
Yeah.
in for a few in the mediocre, like in the range, like I applied in Dalhousie, I applied in Concordia, and it was the safer side, I applied in Lakehead. So I got in all of them, but the main thing was like, which one is at top. So I chose, let's go for UOA. Just the similar reason as you only, that I'm interested in data science, and um, what's not better to learn from the the father of reinforcement learning, the Rich Sutton. So definitely UOA was a big green flag for me as well, for
Yeah.
sure.
And like the kind of thing that happened with me was I only received 2 admits, and it was
Oh,
shocking
nice.
because I didn't receive admits from my safer universities also. They rejected me, and it was
Oh,
kind of depressing. It was kind
yes.
of depressing at first, because those universities gave me reject earlier, and like I got to admit late, and I was kind of at that. So yeah, as I was telling, so I only received 2 admits. So one was from University of Concordia, and but like they were kind of deferring my admission at my point. So like they were telling me, we cannot offer you admission at fall, but we will get to offer you admission in winters. So that was my only option other than University of Alberta. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the shocking things was I also received rejections from the lower tier universities, like my safer universities, and I received the admit from University of Alberta. So it's kind of chances, you take chances
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you
yeah.
like
Definitely.
sometimes it's chances also. Yeah, but other than that, I think it was a good experience to apply to all of these. Like listening from them that okay, what are the kind of results? Yeah.
Sure, that seems helpful for the viewers as well. So,
Yeah.
like as they say, Anmol, like your in Canadian universities, when you're applying, your college
Hmm.
grades matter a lot. Like your
Yeah.
IELTS is basic, like it should pass the basic threshold of the universities, but your grades
Yeah.
matter a lot while you're applying. So, is it true, like in your batchmates, when you have a chat with them? So, are everyone like above 90s, the score is the percentage is above 90s, or CGPA matters, or anything like that?
I think yes. So first of all, a few things come into point here. So like the one is the computing science department, the masters in computing science department is really competitive here.
Hmm.
The second thing is most of the universities here, most of like all the universities here are research intensive universities. So these
Yes.
universities are more focused in research in our domain, right?
Okay.
So they kind of look forward to the applicants who are applying that, okay, what kind of grades they have obtained in their bachelor's, how good are they in their subjects. So yeah,
Hmm.
this thing matters a lot. I guess so. I guess this thing matters a lot, that because even in my batch, like the people I have talked to, they have received really good grades in their bachelors. So I think while applying to top universities, you should have at least a decent GPA, like a CGPA in your bachelor's, because that matters. Because the department
Sure.
is really competitive. The
Yeah,
department is really
definitely. Yeah,
competitive.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And other than that, you can do other things that can boost up your chances of getting in. Like you can go for different examinations such as IELTS and TOEFL, and you can and like in most of the universities when you apply, it will not be mentioned that okay, you should, like the GRE is mandatory, right? It will not be mentioned. But like one thing to take care of is, like when you apply to Canadian universities, almost all the applicants who will get admitted in top 5 universities, they would have given GRE and they would have
Yes.
received a really good GRE score.
Good score, definitely. Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
so
That
it's
thing
like
matters a lot.
all, yeah, so all these things boost your profile a lot. And it's like if you want to be in competition with those applicants to get in a university, you should be well enough, like you should have given all the examination. These just boost up your chances, and like then you have a really good scope of getting into a good university for masters. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Similar pattern, just like in your batch, similar pattern is in our batch as well. Like, all the students that I have been in contact with, they all have certain, like, they all have in, if CGPA is from 10, then they all would be around above 9. And for those who have
Yep.
below 9, then they would have appropriate job experience. They would be, 3 years in. I
Yeah.
have a few contacts who are in the same batch, who will be in the same batch. They are in working in Oracle, and a few of them are in Hyderabad MNCs. So they all are working since 3 years,
Hmm.
5 years work experience. So if you don't have GPS, then your work experience will cover it for you. So I think
Yeah.
that's like a balance to apply in all this top universities.
Yeah.
So yeah, and just like a fun question, in your batch as well, how diverse is your class? Like when I have a talk with one of my friends who are seniors, but they are in, let's say, Concordia, they're in Dalhousie. They say that few are, like, majority around 40-50% are Indians, while only few of them are foreigners, like they are Chinese or they are from other countries. So how about you? How is the
It's really
diversity over
diverse
there?
here. I think it's really diverse here. So I think the diversity question I can answer from the introduction to machine learning class. So that class I took last year in fall,
Okay,
and like that class has around, I think, 120 students enrolled in it, because it was a class that was open to kind of all domains, that okay, because
definitely.
it was a introductory course to machine, anyone interested can take it. So on the point of diversity, I'll say that I feel that Indians were less here.
Oh, that's a
There
unique
were,
that's a unique thing.
yeah, yeah, there were more Chinese, there were more Japanese, more Iranian people also, and Canadians also, from US also, and even from Europe also. So like
Oh,
there is
nice.
a wide diversity. I guess in my university, like in University of Alberta, like diversity is a lot, like a lot. Yeah.
Fine, fine. Like that was just my personal question. I wanted to ask you that how diverse is your class? That's it.
Yeah.
So, uh, like few more things. Before applying part, that when you were writing your SOPs, or when you were
Mhm.
searching your faculties or your managers for LOR, which were the key points that you thought that this would really help me in getting accepted in these universities? So, anything you
Yeah.
would like to
Okay.
speak on that?
All the universities are looking at their like portals, application portals. I kind of knew that we need like 3 LORs for applying and like one SOP from our own side, right? So like those 3 LORs should be people under whom you have kind of worked anytime, or the people who know you very well,
Mm-hmm.
and like who can actually write a pretty good uh, a letter of recommendation that okay, I know this guy and this guy can work, and this guy will
Okay.
be a really good addition to your master's program. So in my case, I took LOR from, first of all, my head of department from the computer science department from my undergrad. So that
Mm-hmm.
was my first LOR. The second one was from my professor under whom I completed my bachelor thesis in my 4th year, because I worked with him for like 1 year in one project, and he kind of knew me that okay, how am I in working, and like if I can work, and if like how much pace is mine, and if I can keep up with the project like experiments and stuff like that. So second LOR from for that. And the third one, I took one from my internship. So I completed a research internship in my 3rd year in Indian Statistical Institute, ISI Kolkata.
Okay,
And
nice.
there, like under the professor under whom I worked, he gave me the third LOR. So these were the three
Nice.
LORs, and like that I got for all the 10 universities in which I applied. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like getting LORs from PhDs or HODs, they matter a lot. I must say that because
Yeah.
if you're applying from someone who is in a doctorate in your field, then they do
Yeah.
consider that. Apart from that, your resume and SOP will also matter a lot while applying that. You like I had listed my various projects in one section, and it was very crisp that in one glance you can get an idea. Yeah, because definitely the administration department will not look at each and every SOPs in a very minute, detailed manner. They will just have a
Yeah.
glance, and if they find it useful, they'll keep it. Otherwise, you are going in the rejection page.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that
That's
thing
for sure.
really matters a lot. The LORs matter, SOP matter, and the resume matters. So
Yeah.
sure, that's it for the preparing for getting the universities. Now, please tell us
Mm-hmm.
about what's your daily life like. Like which courses have you taken in the universities, and how's your experience on the quality of education that UA has to offer.
Okay, so because I'm in a thesis program, I had to complete 4 grad courses along with
Okay.
the research and teaching course, which was mandatory for all the thesis-based
Yes.
students.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So in my fall, I completed 2 courses. So because of so like I decided my course was something like, so I was new to these fields like machine learning and deep learning and artificial intelligence. So one course I took was introduction to machine learning, because it was an introductory course, and it would have been really beneficial for me that okay, how machine learning is from the basics, what is the math behind it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I took introduction to machine learning, and the other course I took was deep learning for medical imaging. So I did I took the course called Explainable AI, because I think that the title was kind of more interesting to me. That okay, this course can help us in getting used to, or getting to know that okay, how AI is explained behind things. So the course was Explainable AI in Games. So it was a really good course.
Nice.
And the other one was the procedural content generation via machine learning. So
Mm-hmm.
that course was interesting to me the most, because in that course we were kind of discussing the techniques that okay, in RPG games, how we can develop the game levels, or how we can develop the game world using.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure.
Yeah, one thing I want to add, these universities are pretty chill about which courses you take. So for example, in University of Alberta, when you enroll in a course, you get I think 2 weeks to just sit in all the classes you want to,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
decide which classes to take. So this thing really helps you in deciding that okay, which class you are comfortable in taking with, and which subject, okay, if it is of my interest or not. And then at the that point of deadline, you can remove all the courses that you don't want to take, and just keep the courses that you want to take. So that's a really good point. Yeah.
Definitely, that's really cool. Thing that these universities have, that you can take you can take any classes for 2 weeks, and then whichever class you find interesting, you can enroll in that. Yeah, that's the point. Okay, Anmol.
Yeah.
So that was like the educating stuff, more of educational stuff. So did you have any did you participate in any co-curriculum activities, or are there any fun activities in UA?
Okay, so yeah, there are a lot of co-curricular activities that usually go around in U of A, but not at this point of time because of
Yeah,
COVID
yeah.
and all this stuff that's
Def-
going on. So like as an example, when we came here, so we had a really good orientation for I think around 2 to 3 days, a separate
okay.
orientation for university, a separate orientation for the department. And then as a part of co-curricular activities, we organized so there is a computer science graduate student association. So like this is a kind of a group that leads group of students that leads the computing science department.
Mm-hmm.
So they used to organize different kind of so like for example, they organized a fall barbecue when we all came. So there was a barbecue
Nice.
outside our campus, or like yeah, outside the computing science department. And other than that, so there used to be monthly, or I think bi-weekly game nights. So in game nights, we used to, so like either the destination was a professor's house, or the destination was a hall in the department where there will be like, stuff like PlayStation and Xbox and all the board games, and you can just sit and chill and like play. So like these kind of, and like there were other clubs also, such as movie clubs and Indian Student Association, that organize a lot of, different kind of co-curricular activities for students. And like it's like every day something was going on. Every day you have some, like you just see that, okay, this poster is here, something is like, happening there, something is happening there. You just like, it's up to you if you want to go or not. And but now everything, like the university shut down, everything is going online.
Yeah,
So even now I have heard that the CSGS is trying to organize some online virtual kind of meets or something like that. But
that's
it's like,
really
yeah, a
great.
lot of co-curricular activities grow here. Yeah,
Hopefully, our batch can also experience that.
maybe it
Maybe.
depends, totally depends. Yeah.
Sure, sure. So that's it. Like the last question that I have is like the most important one. Okay, that I
Okay.
think that will be the major focus of majority of the students, if not that. How's the job opportunities? Like in
Mm-hmm.
Alberta, I think that in Alberta, the comparatively the IT job opportunities will be less compared to that of Toronto, if you consider Vancouver. So how easy it is to shift from one province in another, and according to you, I think that you might also not have experienced the the placement cell or the networking and all that thing, but if you are in contact with any of your seniors, that what's the average pay scale that a master student can get in any of the tech companies, if you have any idea
Okay,
of that.
so there's a couple of things here. So uh, in Alberta, I'll say uh, the jobs in machine learning and artificial intelligence are booming a lot,
Okay.
because in this province, like there is one of the major university who works in this environment, in this department, right? All the students who are graduating are kind of interested in machine learning and stuff.
Sure.
And which university and which company doesn't want to automate themselves? So it is kind of a related field. So like job opportunities are here. That's not a problem. Other thing I would like to point out is from the university, there is a great touch of industry. Like professors are in really good touch within like in different industries and industrial projects. So
Mm-hmm.
I have, like, most of the time students who work in their thesis or who work in their co-op, they get an opportunity to work on a company project. And in that, while working on the company or project, they try to explore like their domain they want to work upon. So that kind of stuff that really
Mm-hmm.
helps you to get a kind of idea of job experience that you'll have here. Because
Sure.
most of the students who do such stuff, like do such internships or do such co-op programs with the company, they just work full time there, right?
Yes, that's
So
true.
that is the another basic question. Third point, in university, usually a lot of career job fairs happen, like job fairs, and I go there, and their companies represent themselves, and like you can, like, you can just ask on the, like, where the company is representing, that okay, if you have any positions open, that you can just drop in your resume and they'll contact you. So
Sure.
like, so there are a bunch of job opportunities open. So, and as far I'll say about moving to other provinces, so I'll say, like, in these days, like after, like, the importance of communication, the importance of a connection that you build. The other important thing is, you most of the time you have to apply online, right? So
Hmm.
if you just look at the jobs online, you can just see that, okay, you can apply to any province. So like, if you look at like a normal machine learning engineer job, so like jobs from Toronto, jobs from Calgary, jobs from Vancouver, all are being listed there. You can just apply there.
Yeah.
And being from a reputed university, I guess, because I haven't applied yet, but I guess like there will be a good chance of getting shortlisted for those interviews.
Mm-hmm.
So moving from one province to another will not be that big of an issue.
Sure.
But yeah, and there is a varying pay scale in different provinces. So it's like, it depends on the kind of expenses that you have there, living
Mm-hmm.
expenses. So the pay scale varies according to that. So for example, if you'll become a machine learning engineer in Toronto, you'll receive more money, you'll earn more money, but it's like your expenditure will be also high,
Yeah,
because
and you'll
it's a
have to
big city.
spend. Hmm.
Yeah, your rent will be high, your flat will be costly, the transport will be
Absolutely.
costly and stuff like that. But if you live in city like Calgary, or if you live in like, Edmonton, if you get a job here, your pay scale will be comparatively less, but the expenses will also be less, because these cities, like, there will be a very huge difference in the rent that you pay, that, like, the amount of money that you pay for travel. So it's a kind of a trade-off. Like, okay, where you want to work. So it totally depends on you. It depends on the person, in fact. And other than that, I'll say the average pay scale. So I think on LinkedIn, you can just check the job section, and in job section, you can just say you just put a machine learning engineer, and then you just like choose the location, Edmonton or Calgary or Toronto. So you can say the average pay scale is there. So I guess for Edmonton, it's around 60 to 70K Canadian dollars per year. In Toronto, it's like 70 to 80K. So again, it depends from
Yeah,
province
it
to
depends
province.
definitely.
Yeah. Mhm.
Sure. So that's like, yeah, that's the thing because like I'm also doing an intern, like I was doing an internship in my final year. So I chose in such a way such that it would be easy for me somehow to get a job in there as well. So it's a Toronto-based MNC, Thomson Reuters.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
yeah. So that was somewhat my plan. That I got an internship from two of the like one was from IIT Bombay and second one was from Thomson Reuters. So this was
Really
like
nice.
my yeah. So that was my plan that if I do internship here, then uh, I might get a referral if I perform well. So I can use that
Yeah.
for applying in Toronto based, the HQ. They are in Toronto, the Thomson Reuters. So that was the plan as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you told, that networking plays the best part. So if you have your networks
Yeah.
spread around the different province, it would be very easy to get a job as well. And yes, the definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it, Anmol. So any tips from your side for the viewers watching in to get accepted or having the hopes to get accepted in UA? Anything else?
I'll say who are like the people who are freshers or like the people who are
Yes,
still in their bachelors. Like the
the
best thing
yes
they
the
can do is, yeah, the best thing they can do is they can try to work on their GPA, like try to improve it, and like try to get good LORs because they just completed their bachelor, so they have a very limited domain from where they'll get their letter of recommendation. Boost up your profile, try to like get good scores in GRE, decent scores, so that will help to get admits a lot. So I think that's it. And like just like I think Canada is a really good place for like getting your masters, and like the education quality is good, the living is good, like the rules are good for stuff. And like I think, yeah, they should go for Canada. Yeah.
That's it, Anmol. Thank you so much for all the information you gave us. It will be very helpful to all the viewers as well. And
Yeah.
thank you so
No
much for
worries.
sparing your time and joining in this call. It was really helpful. Well, that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you found this really informative. If you have further questions and inquiries, I'll attach the LinkedIn profile of Anmol Mahajan in the description as well. You can ping him anytime, he'll reply you back. So that's it. Have a great day. Stay safe. Bye.